Hello, and welcome to your library session for IPE 475. We are going to go over the things you need to know to be successful in your assignments for this class, including the PPARE, which is what we'll be focused on. All right, so on the library homepage, libraries.missouri.state.edu, which I recommend that you bookmark, this is going to be where we get to everything. I am going to show you just a couple basic things before we hop into the research. First of all, how to get library questions answered. So in this help section, the Ask a Librarian link, this has lots of ways to get answers. So we have links to our FAQs, research help, these are short how-to videos, and then we have 24/7 chat. This will be answered by librarians here at MSU, librarians from our co-op around the world, and from BotBear, a little critter that is not AI but is rule-based and tries to get you to our local materials. We also have one-on-one research consultations, and these are going to be the most in-depth form of help that we offer. You set up your own appointment. You can select in-person or virtual. You don't have to select a staff member. You can just pick the day that works best for you and the time and click on through. There is a form for you to fill out, of course, contact information, and most importantly, describing your topic. We do background research before meeting with you, so the more detail that we have here, the better prepared we are when we meet. I can't tell you how often I get these requests and it just says, need help with lit review. Well, that's great, but that tells me nothing about your topic and it gives me nothing to prep. So make sure and give detail. You can even upload files. All right, back to the library homepage. We are going to begin with this Discover at MSU search box. So this tabbed search box kind of in the middle of the page is going to be your portal into all different types of library research. The Discover at MSU is a great place to start because it is our most comprehensive option. Now, it is not the only way to search, and in the instance of this course, we are going to do some individual database searching, but I wanted to begin with this. And we are going to start with the advanced search because I like how it breaks it up for you and it does not have any pre-assigned filters. So let's go ahead and start and say that the scenario you are interested in is related to motor vehicle accident and cell phones and adolescence. So when you're reading through your scenarios and coming up with your question and sentence form, you're going to distill it down to the primary phrases or keywords, and we're going to connect them with the words and. And you'll see I just did this in one long string, the boxes that you can break it up. And you can always switch to different Boolean operators. I know that's gone over a little bit in your worksheet. The most common one is and, because that is going to connect to the terminology and find materials with both or all of those things. Or would be if we wanted to say motor vehicle accident and cell phones and adolescents or teenagers, because there are two words or possibly more that could describe that. Not would be if you want to exclude certain populations or terminologies. So if we wanted to do motor vehicle accident and cell phones and adolescents, not adults. So there are lots of ways that you can play with this and break it up. There's definitely some trial and error. It is not an exact science. So I recommend that you start with this type of searching, you play around with it, and just see what you find. So I'm going to click search. Now, depending on your topics, this can be a very big result pool because it's searching a lot of things, but we've already got our keywords pretty specific here. So I've got 171 items. Now, there are no filters applied right now. You can choose to apply a filter for publication date. So if you want more current, you can apply the scholarly, parentheses peer reviewed. And there are others available too. If you go to all filters, it will bring up a list on the right. Now, I will say you do not want to select catalog or available in library collection because those are going to limit you too much in what's available on your topic. And I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, let's say now I'm like, okay, I've got a pretty decent list. I'm just going to skim through it. This first article looks fantastic. So I'm going to click on the title to take me to a detail record with more information about this. And I'm going to scroll through. It's going to give me publication information. It is going to give me subject terms or author supplied keywords here in blue. These have been assigned by a professional to describe the article. If you're ever having trouble with your own keywords, these are a great place to look because sometimes the terminology is not intuitive. These are hyperlinked, so if I were to click cell phones and traffic accidents, it will take me to a list of results just on that. So a lot of times I will, if I find subject terms that seem useful, I'll make adjustments in this top search bar. These are slightly different than the medical subject headings that are going to be asked for on your worksheet, and we're going to talk about those here in just a few minutes. Okay, so then we keep scrolling and we have an abstract, which is going to be a really nice snapshot of the article and kind of what it's about, what the authors found out. So it's a really great idea to skim through this and make sure that, hey, this is actually on my topic. This is going to give me information I need rather than just trying to dive straight into the article. Because if you have not done a lot of scholarly article reading yet, it can be a little intensive, let's say. So we want to make sure you are using your time and energy wisely on them. Also on this page, you've got a few tools up at the top. Both the save bookmark looking thing and the add to project are really useful if you have logged into your My EBSCO account, which you can do in this upper right hand corner. There is a citation tool. This is going to be great when you want to find citations in different styles. There is an alphabetical drop-down list. This is a wonderful tool, but with any citation generation, I recommend that you double check it against a style guide before handing in final projects because it does mess up on things. This one looks pretty good, but usually double check. Let's see, and also the share, if you wanted to send it to your email or send it to any drive, Google Drive or OneDrive, or if you want to create a link, you can do that in the share little section. All right, well, you may be wondering, well, I'd like to read this article. How do I do that? We do not have every single article full text right here, but we have pathways to get you there. This is why I emphasize not selecting that catalog or available in library collection filter, because we want you to have the articles best for your topic, not necessarily the ones right here. So in this case, it's going to require an ILL request. ILL is interlibrary loan, and this is how we get articles for you from other institutions at no cost to you. So you just click the request link, you use your BearPass ID and password to log in, it takes you to your account, it pulls the form you need, and it auto-populates it for you. Very, very streamlined. I just do a quick skim through of required fields, make sure that all looks good, and then you get down to the bottom and you submit your request. This is not finger snap instant. There are people that make this happen and they work traditional business hours, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. So I always recommend that as you're doing your research and collecting articles, if you see something you think you may want to use, and it's interlibrary loan, just go ahead and request it. We're not going to check and see if you've used it or not, and you have an unlimited number of requests at no cost to you. So definitely take advantage of that. Let's go back to our results page and take just a moment to look at some other pathways to full text and what that can look like, because you're going to see it immediately upon just glancing at the little thumbnail. So it can say access options, and then you can just go to full text finder or find full text, either one, submit ILL. I've got lots of ILL for that one. Again, find full text. Here, there are several options. If there are lots of options, I always just start at the top, and if that one doesn't work, head on down. But if you ever have issues, just send us a message in chat, and we'll help you figure that out. Okay, so that is just a basic keyword search. We actually went through the advanced search option in the Discover at MSU search. So if I go back to the advanced search page where we did start, you will notice that there is an option to do a PICO search. It's a little different than the PPARE that you are doing, or PAIR, I guess we could call it. But it's a similar intent. And I want you to know that this is here, and it is a tool that you are welcome to use and play with. But I have about a 10% success rate with this, even when I practice my searches. It is very tricky to get the right terminology in the right box so that it combines it successfully. So if I were to use my previous terms and say, let's see, adolescence and order. Okay, so that's both the population, the problem. I'm going to take that out of there. And we'll say interventionist cell phone legislation. There's not really a comparison. Outcome, fewer accidents. Okay, so we'll try that. We'll add that to a search. It actually composes it in this same advanced search we were just in, and it sets it up in a different way. And then we search. And this happened before. I was like, this is not relevant at all. And I practiced this. So again, I want you to know that there is that guided PICO search, but it is not always productive. I personally recommend using just a more basic keyword search, whether you use the advanced or not, to use this. All right. Let's go back to the library homepage, and we are going to hop to articles and databases, because there are going to be some instances you may want to get into a particular database like CINAHL or Medline or Cochrane or PubMed, and this is how you would do that. Before I take you there, though, I will show you, if we go back to one of our other more productive searches, you can filter by content provider. So if you go to all filters and content provider, this will tell you, hey, there are some articles from Medline, there are some articles from CINAHL, and it will show them to you, but it is going to not give you all of the exact resources that just going into CINAHL will do. And I know that may sound confusing, but hopefully here in just a second that will make more sense. So, because I think I said CINAHL, let's go to C. These are listed alphabetically. And we will get into CINAHL with full text. And it's a very similar setup, but let's go ahead and try, or we'll switch up the keywords a little bit. We'll just say cell phone use and okay. Now we have a results list, and going through the results list is going to give us it's the same look and feel. The difference is on the left-hand side under research tools, you're going to notice a special one that says CINAHL headings, because some of our medical databases have medical subject headings. In this case, they're called CINAHL subject or CINAHL headings. Sometimes they're called mesh headings. They're similar things. And what we can do from here is, let's say motor vehicle accident is the term or phrase that I want to know if there is a heading for, and we will search. And from here, it gives us options. So probably, and it even tells us motor vehicle accidents. It actually wants us to use accidents traffic, which is right here. So we will click on that. You can add subheadings if appropriate. I know this is a major concept, so I'm going to click that, and we'll scroll, scroll, scroll. Oh, no, we don't need to scroll. There we go. And then we hit add to search. And we go from here. Oh, sorry. Oh, it unchecked it. There we go. I don't know why it's unchecking it. Maybe I need to clear this. And maybe it wants me to use a subheading. Let's say ethical issues, concept, to search. Here we go. Okay, there we go. It's now added that in. Oh, I accidentally did it too many times. I got too excited. But you can see that is how you can construct search strings using CINAHL headings. I'm going to go back just a minute and get rid of some of these because I caused it confusion. Here we go. Now we'll search. There we go. Only one. So this does get very precise, but if you can find those medical headings that are best aligned with your topic, it can save you some time sifting through some of those less relevant topics. But again, all of this is very much trial and error, and I think that is the kind of the main purpose of this assignment, is to get you comfortable doing a little digging, playing with that terminology, knowing where to look for the terminology. I do want to go back to the library homepage and look at PubMed as a standalone database, because it does look a little different. So if I go to articles and databases, all by title, and go to P for PubMed, and some of you may have used PubMed before, there is a public facing version. I recommend going through MSU because we have additional tools and access to things. So if you go to explore mesh database, that is that medical subject heading database, we can, again, maybe motor vehicle accident, and see what it wants us to do. Okay, again, it's saying it's actually accidents traffic. That is going to be the most precise terminology used for it. And you can go through and do that with any of your keywords to see if there is a different or more precise set of terms used to describe it. So, all right. Well, I think that was just about everything that I wanted to cover, because I know you have several things to go through. And again, we started on the library homepage, libraries.missouri.state.edu. Please don't forget to ask a librarian if you have any questions. Cheers.